For more than a decade, Los Angeles Angels have lived in a space between promise and disappointment. Every season begins with hope, velocity, and star power, but ends with unanswered questions. In 2026, the Angels once again enter the year with electric arms, a mix of veterans and youth, and one of the greatest players of all time still wearing a halo. 37 of the 40 roster spots are currently filled, with key roles unsettled and health already a concern. This roster isn't short on potential, but potential alone hasn't been enough. That reality may hang over this team from pitch one. Let's find out how the Angels of 2026 will look, and let's get started. Starting pitcher, Yusei Kikuchi. He brings a veteran stability and presence with deception from the left-handed side. In 2025, he had a 3.3 WAR, 3.99 ERA, and should be the ace, presently speaking, of the Angels in 2026. Jose Soriano brings explosive velocity that can overwhelm hitters, had a 2.4 WAR and a 4.26 ERA and 1.396 WHIP. Consider him a lock for this starting rotation. Reid Detmers, a reliever in 2025 that will be moving back into the starting rotation for 2026, and he had a 3.96 ERA and 11.3 Ks per nine, which will likely drop as a starter here in 2026, but expect him to have another solid season for the Halos. Grayson Rodriguez brings an absolute true ace level arsenal, who did miss all of 2025 with the Orioles, but has a career 4.11 ERA and 1.291 WHIP. Presently speaking, should be expected to be ready for opening day. We'll see how long his health can remain. I see Chase Silseth also making the opening day roster. It's a possible long reliever option. Brings multi-inning power, a powerful arm that should be able to fill in for a spot start and as a reliever as well. And Caden Dana has a powerful fastball, brings durability, but needs to limit the home run ball to remain in the majors. Onto the bullpen. It's one filled with heavy velocity and recently added veterans, but it does have questions. Veteran Drew Pomerantz, one of these recently added veterans that brings deception and experience, though has had several injuries over the past 5 years that has limited him. Brock Burke, a power lefty who had a solid 2025 with a 3.36 ERA and 1.5 WAR. Unlikely to be a closer in 2026, but does bring a back-end left-handed arm presence. Robert Stevenson brings a cutter-heavy approach that avoids barrels, but has a vast injury history once again. There's some heat at 97. Can he stay healthy? Jordan Romano, a pitcher who has a track record in high leverage roles, but struggled mightily in 2025 with an 8.23 ERA and a negative 1.7 WAR. Can he bounce back and be a back end of the bullpen piece? Ryan Zefferjon brings another late inning velocity arm and brought a great 11.5 Ks per nine in 2025, but also needs to limit home runs to be a true closer option. Jose Fermin, I expect to make the opening day roster as well. Has a fastball slider combo that misses bats, and that also led to a 4.46 ERA in his first crack at the majors. And my present expected closer for opening day, Kirby Yates. A veteran presence with an absolute nasty splitter and has been valuable over the years in pressure moments. Expect him to close to start the year. Now onto the lineup. It brings a blend of experience, youth, and power. Logan O'Hoppe, one of those power bats. An average defender, poor plate presence thus far, did bring 19 home runs and a .213 batting average, but is a player that should continue to improve in the years to come. Travis d'Arnaud, expected backup, brings a veteran leadership, an excellent pitch framer, only hit 6 home runs and a 197 batting average in 2025. Could this be the last season for d'Arnaud in the majors? I believe it very well may be. Nolan Schanuel, first base, has an elite plate discipline and very good on-base ability. Only hit 12 home runs with a .264 batting average, but should be there every day, opening day first baseman. Now in the second base position, Kyron Paris, unlikely to start, but brings a speed and athletic versatility. In 126 at-bats, had 6 home runs and a 190 batting average. A player who did start off hot and was added in several fantasy leagues, dropped off dramatically afterwards. Christian Moore brings a balanced hit tool with major upside. Ramblings that he will be tested at third base in spring training. Had 7 home runs and 162 at-bats with a .655 OPS. Will he be the opening day second baseman or third baseman? Vaughn Grissom brings a smooth, contact-oriented bat, but is poor defensively. Has played all infield positions, did not make the majors in 2025, but is a career .255 hitter over his past several years. Oswald Peraza is a premium defensive third baseman, though is one of the worst bats presently in the major leagues. Did hit 164 and 244 at-bats in 2025 and brought a .06 defensive WAR, though. Zach Neto brings energy, defense, pop. Had 26 home runs and 502 at-bats and a very strong 5.1 WAR for the second consecutive year. One of the most underrated players in the major leagues, in my opinion. Jorge Soler has game-changing power and brought one of my favorite moments of all time in the World Series several years ago. The last year, he did have a negative .5 WAR and a negative -1 WAR in just 40 appearances in the outfield last year. Matthew Lugo has a line drive swing, growing pop, did have 4 home runs and 69 at-bats in 2025, but most notably, he had the negative .5 WAR from the defensive side of the ball. Bryce Teodosio brings great speed and defense. He brought a .9 defensive WAR in just 50 games. Phenomenal outfielder defensively. Can his bat pick up as well? Mike Trout, generational hitter and franchise icon, who should be strictly a DH at this point in his career. He did have 26 home runs and 456 at-bats and hit just .232 and a 1.5 WAR, but a negative 1.3 WAR defensively. And to round out the 40-man, Joe Adell brings great athleticism and pure raw strength, but is poor defensively. Had a negative 1.4 WAR defensively, but did by far have his best year in 2025 with 37 home runs. Can he continue that in 2026? Now let's take a look at the rest of the 40-man roster. Alex Manoah. It's a heavy sinker, brings a competitive edge, but can he get healthy and elevate his fastball again? If he can, he may be a great sneaky pickup. Needs to get back to that 95 mile per hour range, and he could be the steal of a pickup this offseason. Ryan Johnson. Fastball command, efficiency. It's a top 100 prospect with great control. Did have a poor first showing in the majors, and that's why I expect him initially to begin the 2026 season in the minors, but will grow over the coming years to come for this Halo team. Mitch Ferris, strike throwing and reliable, though may not have the stuff to remain in the majors for an extended period. A valuable depth piece for this team, will be up and down throughout the year. Jack Kowanowitz brings durable power arm, built for long innings, did have a down year in 2025, and will be able to help the Angels in a few spot starts as well. I do expect him to start the year in the minor leagues. Cody Lawryson, coming from the Twins, brings a reliable bullpen depth. Denzer Guzman has some raw tools, solid fielder, but still developing. Sam Aldeguerri, a lefty starter, brings advanced command and poise for his age. It's not a power arm, is one of their top 30 prospects. Sam Bachman has a bowling ball sinker that produces ground balls. Has limited batters just to one home run in over 37 innings pitched thus far in the majors. Victor Medeiros has late life in a high-octane heater with a rough 8.53 ERA thus far in the majors. Should get a few starts this upcoming year. Walber Urano, ground ball inducing sinker. It's the only player presently on the 40-man roster that has yet to make the show so far. And Ben Joyce did have shoulder surgery in May, and a pitcher with generational velocity that could and possibly should be the closer to come for years for this Halo ball club. With that said, the Angels have some team payroll flexibility after restructuring Rendon and letting him retire. But the Angels are likely still just competitive bidders only for the top tier free agents. Chris Bassett, Nick Martinez, Zach Littell, could they be short-term replacements for Tyler Anderson? While maybe Isaiah Kiner Falefa could be a solid fit to bring veteran presence and versatility to the infield to fill the void of Rengifo and Moncada. Can the Angels snag Harrison Bader to assist the outfield? Are the Angels comfortable with Teodosio at center field? All right, let's wrap this up, Halo fans. And this is where the story turns familiar. The Angels have velocity, but not certainty. They have pieces, but not dominance. Too many pitchers come with health risks. Too many roles remain unsettled. And the margin for error in the American League is razor thin. Even with one of the greatest players of this generation still anchoring the lineup, this roster leans heavily on bounce-back seasons, unproven arms, and development happening faster than reality usually allows. Until stability replaces potential and health replaces hope, the Angels are likely headed for a painful 11th straight year being under 500 because they still lack many answers. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and keep watching for the next video. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year.